This set is based on bar chart, and this is one of the most easiest sets in DI segment of this section. Here it is given that the following table graph depicts the merchandise exports in billion dollars and growth rate of GDP over the previous year for China, Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand from 1992 to 1996. We can check the merchandise exports of China in various years. In 92 it is $84.9 billion. In 93 it is $91.8 billion. Similarly, we can check this figure for the other countries, and here it is given the GDP growth rate. The growth rate of Indonesia in 1992 is 7.2, of Malaysia in 1994 is 9.2. So it is quite easy to comprehend data given in the two charts. Now let's move to the questions. In the first question, it is given that the GDP of Indonesia in 1992 was $60 billion and that of China is $181 billion. What was the approximate difference between the GDP of China and that of Indonesia in 1993? From the graph, it can be noted that the GDP growth rate of Indonesia in 1993 was 7.3. Therefore, the GDP of Indonesia in 1993 will be 60 plus 60 into 7.3 upon 100. This is approximately equal to 64, and the growth rate of China in 1993 was 13.4. Therefore, the GDP of China in 1993 was 181 plus 181 into 13.4 upon 100. This is approximately equal to 205. Therefore, the required difference is 205 minus 64. This is approximately equal to 141. As we have done the approximation, therefore the required answer has to be close to 140. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. In the next question, it is given that the GDP of Malaysia in 1992 was 50 billion and then the ratio of merchandise exports to GDP of Malaysia in 1993 with respect to that in 1992. So we have to find the ratio of merchandise exports to GDP for Malaysia in 1992 and 1993. From the table, it can be seen that the merchandise export of Malaysia in 1992 was 39.6 and the GDP is given as 50. Therefore, the ratio in 1992 was 39.6 upon 50. This is approximately 0.8. Now in 1993, the merchandise export is given as 46 and the growth rate of the GDP of Malaysia in 1993 was 8.3%. 3%. Therefore, the ratio will be 46 upon 50 into 1.083, and this is approximately equal to 0.85. Therefore, the ratio of merchandise exports to GDP of Malaysia in 1993 with respect to that in 1992 was more. It means there was an increase. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Moving to the next question. In this question, it is asking, in which of the following years did Thailand have the least ratio of merchandise export, given that GDP is always greater than exports? So let's assume the GDP of Malaysia in 1992 was Thailand was X. Therefore, the ratio of merchandise export to GDP in 1992 will be 32.5 upon X. In 1993 it will be 37, that is merchandise export upon the GDP, X into 1.084, as the growth rate of Thailand in 1993 is 8.4. Similarly, for 1994, it will be 45.2 upon X into 1.084 into 1.086. If we observe closely, then we can see that the rate of increase in merchandise export is more than that of the GDP throughout the given period for Thailand. So on the basis of this, we can say that the ratio of merchandise export to GDP will keep increasing 1992 onwards till 1996, that is the last year during the given period. Therefore, the least value of the ratio of the merchandise export to GDP was in 1992. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. In the last question, it is given that the GDP of Malaysia in 1992 was $60 billion, and we have to find its GDP in 1995. So basically we have to see the growth rate of Malaysia in 1993, 4 and 5, and these rates are 8.3, 9.2 and 9.3. Therefore, the required GDP will be 60 into 1.083 into 1.092 into 1.093, and this will be approximately equal to 77.5. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Here, one thing that we can do, instead of going for this cumbersome calculation, if we see the percentage growth, these rates are 8.3, 9.2, 9.3. So a mean value of 9 can be taken as representative for the 3 years, and if we increase 60 by 9%, that is 9% for 3 years, that is 27, rather it will be slightly more than 27%, so it will give us a figure of 77 after increase. Therefore we do not need to compute this quantity. We can do this way, the way we have discussed it. That's all for this set.